Cause I don't care what you think.
It's the world's sexiest concert promoter.
Laura!
Say, you look tense. Back rub?
Back rub.
Black eye? Back up.
And with that, I mean, come on. Aren't these two just adorable? They're just adorable, but we're back at it again. I told you guys, it's Steve and Laura time all the time, okay? Whatever the time is, it's Steve and Laura time. You know, and again, we're looking at the Carl Winslow, Laura Winslow, and Urkel, man, and the Urk man, and how they all intertwine.
My birthday's this Saturday, and I'm gonna throw a big bash. Wanna come?
Well, who's gonna be there?
Well, so far, you, me, and the cake.
Wait a minute. He said a big bash. So how big was the cake gonna be? If the only other person invited is Laura, the cake must be big. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I can't make it, so say hi to the cake.
Exactly. Say hi to the cake.
And I decided not to invite my parents.
Oh. Well, it's kind of understandable.
Well, why not?
It's kind of understandable.
Well, I'm still a little miffed that they put those trick candles on my birthday cake last year.
The ones that won't blow out?
No, the ones that blow up.
Relationship between Steve and Laura is so important. You know, because Steve, you know, I don't know if he's being a little facetious, you know what I'm saying? If he's being a little facetious, but he's saying that his parents put trick candles to blow him up. You know what I'm saying? That's hatred. I mean, I don't know how much more hate you can get. You know, so Steve is not loved at his home. And people may say, even with Carl barking at Steve, what did New Edition say? Earth angel, will you be mine? The Winslows are like angels compared to Urkel's parents, man.
So no one's coming to your birthday party?
Well, but that's okay. Hey, I'm Steve Urkel. I'm used to being alone.
Aww.
Honey, what are these names on this list?
Oh, Laura decided to throw a birthday party for Steve.
Ah.
Those are the people she wants to invite.
Oh. Uh-oh. Must be a mistake.
What is it?
My name's on the list.
Oh man, I know, right? OG Harriet. My name's on the list. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, hello, Steve. Yeah, I was wondering if you could come over. There's something I wanted to talk to you.
What's up, baby?
What's up, baby? I always wonder too, how close does Steve live? Like, is he across the street? Is he literally? I wonder if he's literally next door. It's quite interesting to me though that they've never shown the outside of his house if he lives next to the Winslows. But that means that we must have already seen it. Yeah.
Steve, will you clean that house on your birthday?
Well, it's like my mother says. The dust doesn't know it's a special day.
Wow. Dang. The dust is more important than him, huh? The dust is more important than him. Goodness gracious. That's bad. That makes me think some people don't need to be parents.
Got you a little something.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Steve.
A present? For me? From you?
Good.
How? Take me now, Lord. It's all downhill from here.
Right.
Open it.
Open it like it's Christmas Day.
Half off the price of admission to Cheesetown. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you, Laura. I love it.
Oh. I wonder where she got that from. And this is what you call gift giving. When you give people gifts, you know they are going to like, regardless to what you think. Regardless of what you think, how you feel, what you like. Laura went and got Steve. And this is what makes this even more amazing. She didn't just get him a gift. She went and actually got him something she knew specifically that he would like.
Well, I'm glad you're happy. I wanted to give you a party, but I got a late start and everybody already had prior commitments.
Oh, no need to explain. I totally understand. It would take a miracle to get people to come to a party for me.
Well, I'm glad you understand because...
Boom. Boom. She made it happen. Boy, she made it happen. And look at this. Steve went from the dust being more important to he has a present really the woman that he loves sitting right next to him. There's cake. He's being celebrated right now by the people that he loves the most. Oh man, we got to stop at the cake. Who got the cake? Lord, did you do this to the cake? You got his face. You got the glasses, Steve. Oh my gosh. This ain't even just a regular cake. This is a cake catered. Okay, watch my wordplay. This is a cake that is catered to him. It doesn't just say happy birthday. You know, we get some of them cakes that just happy birthday and all the mini candles. If you live long enough, you got mini candles on there, right? No, this has his face and his name. Yeah, Lord. Go on, girl.
Oh, yeah.
Ow. Ow.
Right, Steve, right.
Thank you all from the bottom of my little Urkel heart. I've never been so happy.
So
You
happy.
deserve it, sugar. Because we all love you. Right, gang?
Well, I was here. I figured
Nah, it's too much. This is why people having purpose in your life matters. Look what Steve is surrounded around right now. That he's loved his whole life is the one that did all of this, standing right next to him. But here's the thing too. I'm gonna call it Laura Winslow magic. We got to remember.
The Urkels are packing their car. It looks like they're going on vacation. Oh, yeah. Urkels are gone.
Look at this. Look at this celebration.
Laura, I sure was shocked when you invited me to spend Christmas Eve with you.
For my family.
Oh,
Come on
yes,
over here.
indeed.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on over here, Steve.
Ah.
For me too? Wow. This really must be Christmas.
Right. Laura is because of the bond. Laura sees things in Steve. You know what I'm saying? That other people don't see. She has a connection with him that other people don't have. You know, and Laura is the one in the family that just will not turn her back on Steve. But not only turn her back on Steve, we need to check it here. And this was my point, is she levels him up. Laura will take it, not only will she not check out, she will take it to a whole nother level. It's because of the connection, the low key that she keep to herself connection that she has with Steve. And what's beautiful about this moment, if we can look at it, and you're going to see it, this is all Laura. This is all Laura, right? And the biggest thing about it is it's Laura's acceptance of Steve. Laura's acceptance of Steve is rubbing off on the other family members. Is that she's getting these people to do something that they would have not normally done for him. You're going to see later on that Laura is the one that brings Steve and her family together. You're going to see it. Powerful woman right there.
I think you better blow out these candles before we have to call the fire department.
Right. Give me a hug, girl. Give me a hug.
Steve won't leave unless I go bowling with him. So I figured my only way out is if you go instead. If you do, I'll buy you those overpriced boots you've always wanted.
And shoulder bag to match.
Very interesting situation, because this is where Daddy, see, a lot of y'all again will go and judge Laura. And Laura was pushed into this situation. She was not expecting it. She was and talked into it, because this is what I'm saying. Laura made Steve wait. You have her dad pawning Steve off to Laura, giving Laura a message that this dude ain't worth my time. So again, I keep saying Laura gets such mixed messages when it pertains to Steve from her family. And this is one of those situations. So, you might be like, well, man, Laura just threw him a birthday party. This is my point. This is what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? She ain't free. She ain't all the way free yet. I said it before. She'll have this warm side. She'll go and do stuff for Steve that nobody else will. But then she got to play the part when it comes to the family. She got to play her part.
Steve?
Yes, sir?
Laura's gonna go bowling with you instead.
Really?
True, but please don't make a big deal out of it. Let's just go and get it over with.
Get it though.
Because I got rid of Steve now. So good. He's gone.
And again, so for y'all that want to go at Laura so hard, I can't rap, y'all. But for y'all that want to go at Laura so hard, you need to consider this. Her environment, This is her father, right? Who influences her, who is in her life, who is active in her life every single day. Some of the stuff that Laura has to go up against. She has to go up against these things. Some ways I really kind of feel bad for Laura because it's so back and forth. You know, there's no consistency. Like, you know what? Steve's a great guy and that's how we're going to treat him. It's very hot and cold, off and on. And Laura fluctuates with that as well. She does.
See, Steve was bugging me to go bowling with him, and I cleverly pawned him off on Laura.
Wait a minute. You sent them out on a date?
Yep.
Well, sorta.
Uh-oh. That could backfire on you.
I think Mother Winslow knows already what's up. You know, that Laura does have something special in her heart for Steve, and she absolutely sees them together one day.
What are you talking about?
Well, there's always a chance romance could bloom. And they could fall in love and get married.
Boom. Boom.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Nobody falls in love over bowling. They'll be staring at each other's booties all night long.
Look, and Steve does look good in some jeans, okay? Let's just keep it real. He has his jeans on and Laura's always looking amazing. That is a true fact right there. Dope how God will use people and we won't even realize it, right? Who brought Steve in the house originally?
Mr. Winslow, I'm Steve Urkel.
You called Laura to ask her for the date, didn't you?
Oh.
Why should I? My dad said you set it all up. I only hope this evening has been as magical for you as it's been for me. It hasn't been that bad.
It hasn't been that bad. There you go. Carl was the one that brought Steve into the house, right? And so now, as God would have it, is going to the next level. You got to think about it. God placed it in his heart the first time to call up Mr. Urkel to get Urkel in the house. And now God has put this in his heart as well. Maybe possibly to get him prepared. You know what I'm saying? To get him prepared for his future son-in-law, you know. But God will use who he wants to use, even though you don't think they're being used. You know what I'm saying?
I just had the worst dream of my entire life. Harriet, I dreamt this, that Laura married Steve Urkel and they had 4 kids. Whoa.
Wonder why you dreamed something like that?
This is like everything I've been saying summed up into one statement that he made. I had the worst nightmare in the world, and it was that Steve and Laura got married and have 4 kids. No, that he had a nightmare. And this is what I'm saying, the environment that Laura is in. It is not a nurturing environment towards her and Steve. I mean, y'all don't even see it. Let me show you real quick. Carl is holding his heart. But y'all say that Laura made Steve wait. And Laura da-da-da-da-da-da. Steve and Laura would not be able to have a healthy relationship right now. Whatsoever.
I'll tell you why. Just before I fell asleep, Steve was bugging me to go bowling with him. But I bribed Laura to go instead. And then Mama said, well, you better watch out because they might fall in love and get married. Ridiculous, right, Harriet? That could never happen, right, Harriet, right?
It's not impossible.
Right.
Laura does like Steve a lot more than she used to.
You know, you're right. I better get down there before Laura looks at Steve's booty.
This is what I've been saying. What Harriet just said. It's not impossible. Laura does like Steve more than she used to. Yes, they've gotten closer. They have a connection. They have a bond. Laura is the one that's going to make y'all celebrate him. I'm going to say it like this. Who is the one that's going to give Laura away? Carl. That's why this is so big and how he views Steve right now. It's so big.
5 seconds.
What's going on here?
First, he put on that stupid kilt. Then he made a stupid bet that he could bowl a stupid strike with his stupid foot. Then he got his stupid toe caught in a stupid ball.
Well, that can happen to anyone.
No.
Oh, don't be stupid. Daddy, I want those boobs, that shoulder bag, and the matching hat. Believe me, I've earned them.
Laura is upset. Laura is upset. I think if you made a new version of this, Laura would have like the pottiest of mouth. She would have cussed all through that right there. Stupid foot, stupid. You know, hey y'all, cussing ain't cool. I'm just trying to let y'all know cussing ain't cool.
Out with me in exchange for clothing?
Yeah.
All right. Honey, what you only go out with me for a car? I'm wearing you down, baby. I'm wearing you down.
I thought this was so big time of Laura. Like I said, Laura will go and do stuff for Steve that most people wouldn't. And she goes far and beyond. And some of that is because Laura knows him in a greater way, right? Laura knows him in a more intimate way without actually being intimate, right? That's powerful. Steve and Laura know each other in an intimate way without actually being intimate. It's because they've had intimate moments. It's because they're open. They talk. You know what I'm saying? They go to each other for advice. You know what I'm saying? So you learn these things about a person. We always think that you got to be intimate, like with a bed, to be intimate. No, you don't. You can have an intimate relationship with somebody, and not being intimate in any way because you're talking to them. You're learning, you're leaning, you're growing, and all those things. So we see this here with Steve, and I think this is such a beautiful moment. And this is why, again, I will reiterate what I said. Purpose is so important. You know what I'm saying? And who is surrounded around you matters, because who's surrounded around you is going to determine how far you can go or how far you can fail. Like that stuff matters, right? Who you're doing life with, who you have surrounded around you, those things matter. When we look on it with Laura, gosh, this gets me excited because I just love it, right? When we go on it with Laura, where, you have Steve's situation where his parents weren't acknowledging his birthday. You don't know I didn't put the whole story up here, but Laura's making calls and for people to come to Steve's birthday party, and she couldn't get anybody. Everybody was clicking on her. Everybody was laughing at her, So what did Laura do? This is what I'm saying. Because she was going to make sure Steve was celebrated, okay? She was going to make sure Steve was celebrated. So what did she do? She made her family celebrate him. They had no intention of doing that, right? She made her, Carl even said, why she got my name on the list? I'm not going. And that's what I say time and time again, is that Laura levels Steve up, right? She levels him up. She takes things to another level. What do you mean by leveling up? Leveling up by the simple fact that she got people all around him that would not normally celebrate him, celebrating him. That is a level up, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I keep saying when it comes to Steve and Laura, in these situations, I'm going to show you something in a minute, but in these situations, there's a lot of times, I said this before, where Laura actually shows more grace for Steve than her father does. Laura is sometimes a better example than her father is. But I want to check this out when it comes to leveling up and understanding the value of the people around you. Check this out.
I'm a little old school, so some of y'all is going to be too old for you, but I feel y'all will catch it. I'm a movement by myself. But I'm a force when we're together. I'm good all by myself, but you make me better. Is there anybody in the room today that says, I want somebody that makes me better?
Do not pick partnerships based on pleasure. You pick partnerships based on purpose. And I think that's where a lot of people get messed up. There are a lot of people you can be compatible with, but they're not going the same direction as you. And it's hard to think purpose when you have not spent enough time with yourself personally.
And that was Dr. Darius Daniels, and you see Michael Todd, and they're both talking about purpose. And what Darius was talking about is, you want to be around somebody that makes you better. And this is what I'm talking about. What does that have to do with Steve, Carl, and Laura? It has everything to do. Laura has a purpose with Steve. Steve is a part of Laura's purpose. Laura is a part of Steve's purpose. And it's a bond and a connection that they already have right now that the rest of the family doesn't understand. And I don't think they will understand until way later on. And we'll show it way later on. They'll start to understand it, but for a very long time they won't. And so that's why Laura vacillates between hot and cold with Steve, because on one end, this is what my family's doing. On the other end, this is the connection I have with him. I'm called to this dude. This dude is a part of my purpose. I have a connection with him. I don't know how it got there, but it is there, And so that's why I said too, why Laura tends to sometimes be the greater example, because, Carl will bark at Steve, Laura will bark at Steve, but Laura's so much grace. Laura shows so much more grace in trying to get it right. Look at some of these clips.
Steve, you broke my favorite ornament. Look, I don't want you over here on Christmas morning. In fact, I don't want you over here ever again.
Just gotta look at this.
Who is it?
Laura.
Oh, wow.
It's Laura.
Just a minute.
And remember, this is the Laura that kicked him out and said don't want him on Christmas or this and that. And where's she at right now? Okay. Just pointing this out, looking at some of the stuff that there are times where Laura is the example, even over her dad at times. Making things right.
Hello, Steve.
Oh, Laura, my Christmas cookie. Why, you look prettier than a partridge in a pear tree.
So you're spending Christmas all alone?
Yep.
Would you like to spend Christmas Eve at our house?
With you?
Yes.
And your family?
Yes.
Oh.
Maybe you can even stay overnight.
Oh.
Looking at these examples that Laura will maybe not get it right or get it wrong rather, but she'll always get it right. And if you notice, she'll always take it up a notch. And we just got to look at the differences.
Steve, go home.
Now, Carl,
Go home. Go home, go home, go home, go home. And don't you ever come back.
You win. I'll never come over to your house again.
Well, no, I don't want that.
And don't come back. Ever. Steve, I overreacted. And I'd like you to forgive me.
Wow. An apology?
Do you see what I see? That's old school right there. But do you see the differences? First of all, the similarities in Laura and Carl, right? And how they handle Steve. Again, looking at the impact of the father. But look at how, what I would say is, where Laura's the example is in her graciousness. Laura just said here, Steve, I overreacted and I would like you to forgive me. That is so deep. And versus Carl is a little bit more grudging with his, apologies.
Get out.
Now, Carl.
Get out.
Now, look, I realize you're upset.
Get out. I've had it with you, Steve. You stroll in here, you destroy my garage. Well, that is it. I want you out of my life and stay out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Steve.
There, was that so bad?
Yeah, it really was.
So we saw there, like father, like daughter, but not so much. You saw that Laura was gracious in asking for forgiveness and gracious, she was gracious in that. And that's why I say there are times where Laura is actually the example. And that's why she can go and throw this birthday party and some of the things that she does for Steve, because there are times where Laura falls in place with her family, right? Where she goes hot and cold, she falls in place because the impact of your family, the impact of your father, the impact of your environment, all that stuff, all those things around you impact you, right? But there's something that Laura has on the inside of her that God gave to her for Steve. So you'll see Laura be a lot more gracious, and she at times, and you'll see it more and more and more, is the greater example. You saw there with Carl, where Steve said, see, it wasn't that bad to apologize, and Carl said, it really was. Laura's never said that. Laura wants to apologize and get it off her chest and get it right, and this is understanding sometimes that the kids can be the example at times in certain situations, and that's what Laura is. And she's getting her family, and I love it. She's getting her family to a place where they're accepting him more. And more and more, and just like I said, she was the one that got them doing all this right here, got them celebrate. None of these guys were thinking about celebrate good time. None of them was thinking about that. But Laura made all that happen. Got a cake with his face on it and his name on it. Not just a birthday cake where it just says happy birthday and blow out the candles. You know what I'm saying? But a birthday cake that has his face, that very detailed, thought through things, right? The people that are there, she tried to get other people, but the people that were there are the ones that mattered. And so this is Laura leveling Steve up. And again, just bringing it back around to understanding the purpose, the purpose of a thing and the purpose of a person being in your life. It is so impactful. Steve would have been at home dusting off stuff to right now if Laura did not come through in the way that she did here. It's just such an amazing, amazing thing. I just hope people are starting to really see, because again, everybody want to go at Laura with just, asinineness, right? Laura made Steve wait. And it's like, guys, the timing of things is very important. When you think about it in sports, the time that they pitch that ball, if they pitch it whenever they want to pitch it, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have some issues, okay? If you go and you see it in sports all the time in basketball, when they go and make a pass at the wrong time, it's a turnover. Like, I don't understand how people don't think that matters in life and in relationships. Those things matter. And so, I wanted to look at this to show the dynamic and to show that, the environment that Laura's in, although it's not a bad environment, it's a great home environment, moms and pops, but they're not always the best. It's not always the best environment when it looks at Steve and Laura together, and put it, and her really coming out and letting people know truly how she feels.
Shot me.
She has done her share of living. She been out there.
I miss Steve Urkel.
Oh, you need professional help.
You even see that. You see that interaction even with her aunt, where Laura kind of comes out a little bit. I miss Steve. And look at the response that she gets. So I just think people, when they want to go and make these lies and all this other type of stuff, and Laura was da-da-da-da-da, have you ever considered the family environment? Have you ever considered the father figure environment and his relationship with Steve and how it affects Steve and Laura and her family as a whole? Laura just, came out and said, hey, I miss him, and Rachel's response was, you need professional help. Something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? So this is the inner war that goes on the inside of Laura, because Laura's called to Steve. Steve is a part of her purpose, but then you got the family that's a part of her purpose as well. And so those situations can be very uncomfortable. And can we get real? When people like Laura made Steve wait and all this other type of stuff. Now I do understand people fall in love young. You know what I'm saying? And all that stuff. They fall in love and all that. But they end up doing some stuff too. Okay. You know what I'm saying? They end up doing some stuff before the wedding night. They end up doing some stuff before they get the marriage bed going without the marriage. Okay. Some stuff go down. So this is what I'm talking about too when it comes to Steve and Laura. You want them to get together now for what? Oh, so they can date and date. Hey, do you guys know dating? The biblical way of it, dating is to marry, right? Look at got Steve on this is what I'm talking about. This is who he gonna end up marrying. Somebody that took time out and such detail on that cake. But dating is for marriage. So remember, that is what Steve is proposing to Laura, is marriage. So what are they really gonna do right now from what they're not already doing? No, what y'all want Steve and Laura to do is get together right now. You know what I'm saying? And make that bed move. That's what y'all want. But Steve wants Laura, all of Laura, and only in marriage the way God would have it. So again, I'll just ask the question, what are Steve and Laura actually missing out on right now? Because there's a friendship. And this is another thing too that I think people never noticed again when they say Laura made Steve wait. Do you realize throughout this whole thing, Laura is fostering friendship? She is fostering friendship. Okay? Laura did Steve. Laura wasn't giving Steve no play on a romantic level right now. Yes. But she continues to foster friendship, and she continues to show Steve in front of everybody his value. That's what Laura just did here. Got the man a cake with his face on it and made them sing happy birthday to him and celebrate him. Laura shows other people, Steve's value as she's showing it to him. Steve just wants to romantic. He want to be able to hold hands and kissy kiss, but he doesn't realize how long he would have to do that with Laura before they got married. Things are going to become more difficult. They're going to become more difficult when you date this young and you're not ready for marriage. The Bible says don't awaken love before it's time, right? So even with that type of stuff, y'all act like Steve was, catching L's because a friendship was building between Steve and Laura, which is what a lot of marriages don't have today. You have a marriage, but you don't have a friendship. God always intended for whoever you were. That's why God said till death do you part. Because you doing life with your best friend. That's how he intended it. Some of the things to consider, just looking at the dynamic of Steve, Laura, and Urkel. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, love God, love people. May God bless you. May God keep you.